It's not easy being green.
Actually, it is. Luigi's Adventure is one of the easiest games in the series. What the fuck do you know? You're just a frog with a dude's hand up your ass. Luigi's Adventure follows Mario with a slightly different mustache. Turns out Bowser is a diabolical asshole who built a giant castle that's just walking distance away from Mario's house without a permit. And since Bowser owns the police force, what with him being super rich and shit, it's up to you to take the law into your own hands and steal all his stars or something. I don't know. The level design for this game is solid, but compared to some of the other Star Revenge hacks we looked at, it's not exactly breaking new ground. This doesn't mean there aren't great levels. The winter level still looks fantastic as always, and 2 of the levels are a tribute to the Stone Tower Temple from Majora's Mask, aka my favorite temple and my favorite Zelda game. Clearly, Redone is making up for the game's complete lack of ice cream. Compared to a lot of the other Star Revenge games, this game is actually pretty easy, at least to begin with. The difficulty increases gradually as you'd expect, but rarely do you get to the point of genuine frustration, until you get to this boss. Now this is something that I don't think I've adequately bitched about for the previous games, but the Star Revenge series has this habit of taking bosses that would otherwise be very easy and making them more difficult by jamming a fuck ton of other enemies and environmental hazards in there. I mentioned this phenomenon first in the first Star Revenge game, what with the thwomp and the quicksand and shit. Remember that? Yeah, it's rarely that bad, but still. Redone also tried his hand turning Mario into a stealth game, which is actually a neat idea. Mind you, it's basically just trying to stay outside the lights. It's not Metal Gear or anything like that. Honestly, while there's very little that's blatantly wrong with this game, it just feels a little bit underwhelming to me. This could be due to a number of factors, maybe the fact that some of the ones from the previous videos were excellent, or simply because I've played so many of these in such a short amount of time that it's starting to get to my head. So I went into Star Revenge 7, hoping for something different, and I was not disappointed. Now very quickly I realized something. I couldn't wall jump or triple jump. At first I thought this was a glitch, but eventually I figured out that it was entirely intentional. You see, you're actually supposed to go through the first part of the game being basically disabled, at least by Mario standards. Eventually you come across these badges that give you your moves back. I kinda like that actually. It reminds me of Banjo Dreamy. Of course, in that game you could barely even jump at the beginning, so this is a bit more forgiving. In terms of level design, I gotta say this game is definitely better than Luigi's Adventure. At first it's a bit frustrating because the lack of abilities near the beginning doesn't allow you to explore the levels to the fullest extent. But for me, it was actually pretty rewarding when you unlock a new ability, bring it back to an older level to find that you can actually go further than you could before. If any of you guys are familiar with Banjo-Tooie, that game has a lot of this kind of stuff too, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. The music is fucking great. Listen to this. And of course, for the sake of tradition, this game comes with at least one very awesome looking winter level. So go ahead and take it all in all its ice cold, snowy goodness. This is definitely one of the great Star Revenge games. It actually managed to hold my attention for a substantial amount of time, at least compared to Luigi's Adventure. The whole badge thing adds a much needed new angle to the game. It's not quite a contender for the best Star Revenge game, but it's definitely a runner-up in my books. Despite this, there's really not that much else to say about it, so it's time to move on to Star Revenge 8. Star Revenge 8 is the very last game in the series. That's all of them, 1 through 8. I didn't miss anything, this is the end, and we're all going home after this, drunk, hungover, and more than likely more dead than alive. Now, according to the wiki, this game is jam-packed with Toho references. Now, that particular territory is very unfamiliar to me, so I'm just gonna see if I can get my bearings here. So according to a quick Google search, Toho is a series of anime shenanigans so ingenious that my tiny mind cannot even hope to comprehend it. If you look here on the IQ scale, You can see it's all the way at the end, just shy of King of the Hill. Now the levels in this game aren't just huge and great, but they're also a bit complicated. So much so that the wiki page includes a map, which is immensely helpful. I'm not sure as to whether accessing the map is cheating or not, but I'm gonna go off on a limb and say it doesn't matter because it's fucking late and I'm tired. But yes, the level design is great. I especially love this level because there's this one point where you can just look around and absorb all the little details in the distance. Not to mention the fog effect is also pretty cool here. And of course, since this is the last game, the winter level is not only awesome, but it's also suspended in the sky. Go big or go fuck yourself, as they say. I like the way that many of the levels are interconnected. It reminds me of some of the older Star Revenge games and also succeeds in making the game more interesting. Of course, as I mentioned before, it can be a little confusing and navigation can be a bit of a chore. Until you unlock the shortcuts. Thank God for that. Oh wow. This game is so anime that it literally made America an enemy. You know you're a weeb when you retexture an enemy like an American flag and make the player jump on top of it. Unless there's a much smarter joke here that I just don't get. Part of me thinks that I may have been able to appreciate this game better if I understood the references. I mean, they're kind of everywhere. But other than that, the game is great. The difficulty is largely consistent and even the boss battles are reasonable now. I wouldn't consider it to be the best Star Revenge game, but it's definitely a fantastic conclusion to the Star Revenge octology. I don't know if that's a word, but it most definitely should be. How many remakes of Star Revenge 1 up till now? Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is Star Revenge Redone. This is a remake of the original Star Revenge. Mario is no longer orange and the graphics look a bit better. Also, the levels appear to have been updated too. So naturally, everything I said about Star Revenge 1 holds true here. But better. If that makes any sense. By the way, Brodude actually sent me a message the other day telling me that if I beat this game, then I would get a coupon for all the ice cream he owes me. So that's fantastic. Guess I better get started. Aw, genius! Don't grab the ledge. Why the fuck didn't I think of that? Wow, Mario is fucking Einstein. You're just a fucking frog with a dude's hand up your ass. Oh shit. The level for this... son of a bitch. This doesn't mean there aren't any great levels. The winter levels... Bleh. You see, you're supposed to actually unlock the moves. Son of a bitch. Why did I even start this series? Why did I start playing Mario hacks in the first place? Why did Nintendo even invent Mario? Why does anything even... fuck anything?
They got this feller down at the bowling alley. He gets up on the stage and shits his britches.
Fuck. To be continued.